Hello everyone.
Hi there guys.
Yes, we thought we'd make a video because Neil's had a letter today from the hospital about his MS, and we thought we'd got it correct in our heads what was going to happen, what treatment was going to be offered.
We knew what we were working with, didn't we?
And this letter basically has moved all the goalposts.
Yeah.
And it threw Neil in turmoil this morning.
That's how it feels. It feels like it's moved the goalpost, doesn't it?
And it affected him so badly that he had to contact your MS nurse.
Yeah.
And discuss it with her. But we're waiting for her to come back.
That's right. So the thing is, if you've watched my last video, the plan of action, because I've had 3 attacks, relapses in the last 12 months, the plan of action was have my JC virus blood test, which I've got the results back. I'm 0.79, and providing that was at a safe threshold, which it is, I was going to start on Tysabri. But now, like I said in my last video, they want me to have an MRI of my spine, and I'm thinking, aye. They didn't expect, because I had an MRI of my brain as well, they didn't expect my brain to come back clear. But I knew it would. I knew it would, because I don't have any MS symptoms, like symptomatic symptoms in my brain. Activity was the word I was looking for. I don't have cognitive issues, I don't have brain fog, I don't have optic neuritis or anything like that. All my MS symptoms are basically to do with my lower body. I can't, my walking is affected, things like that. So, in this letter, they're talking about my JC virus results, and they're now saying my results are less than 0.9. So for the first 2 years on Tysabri, I've got a 1 in 10,000 chance of contracting PML. However, the worrying thing is, for years 3 and 4, the chance of contracting PML doubles to 1 in 5,000. Now that really does scare me. But now what they're doing is they're talking about, well, I'll just read a bit of the letter because it'll become clear. So it says the risk of PML for months 1 to 24 on Tysabri will be 1 in 10,000, and for months 25 to 36. Oh, so that's just for year 3, not 3 and 4 actually. So for year 3, Tysabri, the PML risk is 1 in 5,000, so it's doubled, doesn't it? It's right, isn't it? It's just doubled.
A year, yeah.
Because it's 1 in 5,000 for the 3rd year. That's pretty scary. And now what they're doing is they're talking about an alternative disease modifying therapy called Lemtrada. I've not even spoken to them about Lemtrada. When I went to see my consultant, it was Tysabri or Ocrevus. If I didn't want to go on Tysabri because of the PML risk, I'd be going on Ocrevus. That was the plan.
Yeah.
And that was what it was all along. But my previous brain MRI, I got an email back from my MS nurse, and I got the impression that they didn't think my brain MRI would be clear, but it is clear. So now they've requested a spinal MRI. Sorry to keep flitting backwards and forwards, but it's getting complicated. So now they want a spinal MRI. But what's really worried me, as I read a bit more, right? So they're talking about possibly going on Lemtrada. If deemed not suitable, then Ocrevus. Tysabri, and if I can't go on that, Lemtrada or Ocrevus. But it's this bit. However, in view of the normal brain imaging, and that's what I thought on my last video, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it would be prudent to arrange an up-to-date spine MRI, following which I will decide if it is also necessary to undertake an LP. That is a lumbar puncture, to check for CSF oligoclonal bands. I can't properly pronounce that. Now, ever since I've been diagnosed with MS in 2013, I've managed to avoid having a lumbar puncture, and that threw me into a panic this morning.
Yeah, it scares you to death, don't it? Thinking
Because
about it.
yeah, it really does. Because, and I'm just going to say, for the benefit of the camera, I'm not having a lumbar puncture, or a spinal tap as they call it. It's not happening. As far as I understand, and I have researched the procedure, it's quite a painful procedure. It's done at L5, which is your lumbar 5 section of the spine, and that is where I get all my pain. That is where I have had my microdiscectomy twice.
Yeah.
And
no way is anybody going to go near it.
no, it's just not happening.
No.
And so what's really worrying me now is if I am going to refuse a lumbar puncture. I am. There's just no doubt in my mind. You know, if I refuse the lumbar puncture, are they going to say, well, okay, we can't put you on the treatment? You know, this is the first time they've mentioned a lumbar puncture. They diagnosed my MS with imaging, with MRI scans back in 2013. So I'm not happy chappy, to be honest. I've also got to have a blood test which tests for additional screening aquaporin MOG antibodies. I've yet to Google that. So I rang my MS nurse this afternoon.
Yeah.
Teresa suggested that I do because I was in a bit of a panic and feeling a bit fed up, to be honest. And I just said to her that I feel the goalposts are now changing because my brain imaging came back clear. You know, they're now suggesting another disease-modifying treatment and possibility of a lumbar puncture. And I said, there is one procedure I am absolutely not comfortable with, and that's a lumbar puncture. And I basically said, because I have to record onto an answer machine and they ring you back, and I'm just not going ahead with that. It's just not happening. So I don't know what's happening now. No idea.
No. And they have been referring this letter and your last letter, referring to R&R. Yeah,
this is something else, you see. So a couple of years ago, not R&R, but RR.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay. It's just abbreviations anyway. RRMS, relapsing remitting MS. But a couple of years ago, my consultant converted me to secondary progressive. And now it's written on here RRMS. That could just be administration, to be honest.
Yeah, but also they've been mentioning about the transverse myelitis.
Oh yeah, that's another interesting point. Yeah, Mr. Bradley is currently under consideration for recommencement of MS disease-modifying therapy, having experienced 5 clinical significant relapses, brackets, transverse myelitis. Now that's... I understand that myelitis means inflammation, transverse means crosswise. And back in 2007, when I first started having symptoms, I was diagnosed with transverse myelitis then. All of a sudden, in my last few letters, they start calling the MS in my spinal cord transverse myelitis. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a bit of an update, guys. I'm not feeling too happy about it at the moment.
No.
So I've got my MRI scan on Sunday.
We're just going to take it one step at a time, aren't we? Then you got your blood test on Monday.
Blood test on Monday as requested. I'm sorry if this video is sort of flitting backwards and forwards between things and if I haven't made things very clear. But to be honest, I'm a bit confused about it all myself. It's like I knew what I was doing when I'd spoke to my consultant. Tysabri or Ocrevus, according to my JC virus results. Now they've introduced Lemtrada, and now they're talking about... Lost the plot a bit. You're
just up to here with it, aren't you?
I am.
But at least...
I'm fed up of it all, to be honest. I really am fed up of it all.
We've shared the experience with our friends, and sharing things makes it feel just a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, there you go, people.
I suppose what I'm worried about is I can't imagine for a minute the MRI scan of my spine to come back clear, because clearly I have walking problems. That's where it all comes from. You know, but what if it does? Are they going to want a lumbar puncture then? Well, they're not getting one of them. I feel like being done with it all. I really do, honestly.
I know, but that's just how you're feeling at the moment. We'll take one step at a time, and we'll get through it. Together, we'll get through it.
Yeah.
And our friends will help us get through it.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think we'll call it on this one, and the next update will probably be when my MS nurse calls me back with more information, because I just want to have a chat with her about it, basically. So
yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys, for listening.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye for now.